Guys, this is Nick with a video tour of my video game room. Let's start out here with a handful of my little pieces of my collection here. I got that Zelda Master Edition here. This is where I keep my Cubs hat, and I got a nice Stormtrooper helmet. This is the Black Series, along with a Mickey Mouse Ears R2-D2 hat that we got from Disney World. And then we got my Nintendo 64 collection, which has a handful of good titles in here. We got Mario Kart, GoldenEye, just to name a few, Super Mario. We can go through that in a little bit, but I have a lot of popular titles to have hold of here. And then we have the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition. I picked that up as a pre-order. Pretty disappointed with it actually, because you can't really use it with the game, but it still looks pretty cool on my shelf. So then let's move down to some books here. I have actually a PlayStation 2 as a book stop here, a couple of comics, Super Mario Adventures and Zelda Link to the Past comics that were in Nintendo 64, or Nintendo Power actually, sorry. Playing with Power Guide, which was actually really disappointing because it has a huge misprint in it. It's missing the Zelda overworld map. Let's see here. I got the NES Famicom Visual Compendium that you saw me do a review of earlier. The Zelda Complete Collector's Edition, which Breath of the Wild Guide, which is actually still sealed. I haven't used it, even though I played 80 hours worth of the game. Let's see here. I got just like a handful of books here. A red Wii that I found at a pawn shop. That's the 25th anniversary Mario edition. And then we have the Zelda Ocarina of Time collector's edition cover. So on the box it was a reflective piece where you could actually take it off. It was a sticker. So as a kid I just took it off and I framed it. So I no longer have the box though, because it's worth a lot more money. And down here we have the this is where I keep my controllers and power adapters. We got like this Nintendo Elite Motion box here. We got Nintendo 64 controllers, a whole bunch of wires, another list of wires, and it's really not pretty. I hope to find a better solution on that soon. Let's see here. Move on to my big, gigantic, heavy-ass Sony Trinitron TV that I'm actually getting rid of. I'm replacing it with a 20-inch version. It's going to be a lot more manageable. We have the Vans NES box here. And then back here we have Nintendo Entertainment System Deluxe NES Collection box. All the stuff that I went over on one of my previous videos here. And what we have here is a bead art. They're perler beads, and it's made of Bowser and his clown castle. Now this is pretty cool because it came as a wedding gift from one of our best friends here. Really awesome piece and to have in my collection here. And then we have a Leonardo da Vinci style blue shell, which came from Woot. It was originally a t-shirt and then they made it into a poster, so I snatched that up instead. I have a Tyson Little Mac Dream Fight poster that I got at Bit Bash, and that was pretty cool. Haven't been able to find it since. People keep asking me about it. I have my collection, or at least part of it, that we just have on display. So Nintendo titles here. I actually initially started out starting to collect the best of them, but then it just like crazily spiraled out of control. I initially started to do 20 of them, and now I have some of the rarest titles like Bubble Bobble Part 2 and DuckTales 2 as well. Both of those very prized entries into my collection here that I'm very proud of. Of course, like Legend of Zelda, Mega Man 2, and actually the whole entire collection of Mega Man back when you can find them at GameStop for $5 a piece. And then The list goes on here. We can go over that in more detail later if anybody wants. So we have Xbox 360, Sega Saturn, Sega CD, Sega Genesis, and I kept the 3DS, and of course Virtual Boy games. And we have some more complete in box games. Interesting story. I actually found some of these in my landlord's basement and got them for quite a good deal. I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see here, we have a Mega Man statue that came with the Mega Man Galaxy, came with the Mega Man Legacy Collection. It's cool, so it's a pretty cheap statue. And then I have this gigantic Black Series TIE Fighter that I got from Target on clearance. It's pretty awesome. And then we have the Fallout Anthology Collection in a nice little mini nuke that sounds up here. It is pretty cool. Moving over to the PC games. Kind of a good LucasArts thing. I got the Monkey Island collection. I'm not exactly sure. I think this might be a fake, but it was really cheap and I really just care about the artwork, to be honest with you. So I got Mega Man X, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario Kart, Conker's Bad for a Day, that's actually for Nintendo 64. I got some Battle Clash here and a couple of other complete in box games. So that's a reproduction Earthbound box. Let's see here. Super Mario RPG I got back there, along with this one I bought just because it was the title alone. It's Communist Mutants from Space for the Atari 2600. This is actually a supercharger game, so you need the supercharger to play it, and I do not have that, and it's very expensive, and it looks like it's just a Space Invaders clone, but I thought this was pretty funny, so I picked it up. Right. Down here we have the GameCube collection. Now this isn't the whole collection, this is just the number of titles that I feel like I should display. I usually rotate stuff out just to keep things fresh every 6 months, and it's also fun to go through and make sure that everything's clean and cataloged. So Wii games, I actually picked up a lot of these from GameStop within the last month or two, just before the Switch came out. A lot of titles just went up on sale for pretty dirt cheap. The Zack and Wiki game was pretty rare. Picked that up for about $6. Went down and got the Wii U collection here. I just added the Breath of the Wild on here just because it has the misprint on here. I already have the Switch version, so I'm not gonna probably bother with that for a while here. I have a Game Boy Pocket Limited Edition Ice Blue that I picked up for a while. I'm probably gonna find, like, I see a lot of people with those display cases or display stands for their Game Boys, and I really like to pick those up, you know, once I have more space. I got some Nintendo DS games here, just stacked up here, along with Ridge Racer DS. That's one of the first games that I had. Field of Magic, back when DS was kind of like hokey, and then it just grew into a really good platform. I got boxes for it, along with the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds 3DS edition, which I later upgraded to the Majora's Mask edition here. There's a couple of boxes here. I like to keep the Game Genie boxes. They're pretty nostalgic. I enjoy those. An NES Max box and Game Boy Advance box. Just some regular boxes I like to keep. The Death Smiles limited edition actually comes with a Xbox 360 plate, which, if you're not aware, they started out with that to customize, and then they just stopped doing it. So if you can find 360 plates, they're kind of a little quirky commodity here. Alright, move on to my Xbox One collection. I don't have a PlayStation 4, So I don't have any of those on my shelf, but I do collect a couple of the limited run games for things. So I have, you know, just a couple of new titles and something that, you know, not too many people collect, like the Kinect Sports Rivals and Recore and Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs, pretty disappointing game. Moving up here to the PlayStation 3 collection, I have a handful of good RPGs that I still have to pay through and everything like that. So, and then moving up, I have a whole bunch of memory cards that I've collected from thrift stores, and then I have a Octodad Special Edition tie. This came along with the limited run edition of the Octodad for PlayStation 4. Moving up to the PlayStation 2 collection here, of course, I made sure to get some good gems, even though the catalog is pretty extensive. But I just want to make sure that I collect the good ones first before even expanding. I don't even think I'm going to expand any more than these. I have a couple of them stored away, of course. Dreamcast. This is the entire Dreamcast collection. You have Space Channel 5, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Jet Con Radio, Choo Choo Rocket, and Seaman. I actually picked this up right before Leonard Nimoy passed away. And I'm glad I did, because this is really expensive now, even though it's a really mediocre game. Moving up here, I have a PlayStation collection. PlayStation collection, I was actually able to get a lot of these on the cheap. Tactics Ogre, I was able to find at a thrift store for $10. Same thing with Parasite Eve and Metal Gear Solid and a whole bunch of other games here. Silent Hill, and I have like a couple of good expensive titles that are rare that I got for fairly inexpensive, like Intelligent Cube, and games that are now like fairly expensive, like Einhander. A lot of the Square games are pretty expensive, except for Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII used to be expensive, and then it dropped real quick. And then one of my favorite PlayStation games, Alundra. Alundra, if you haven't played this, I suggest picking it up. So that's it for my games, for the most part, on there here. And I got a Shovel Knight amiibo along with a Shovel Knight box. It's like a recreation of a box that comes with a manual and everything like that. And then I have my Super Nintendo titles that I like to display. There's only 12. There's 12 here. Yeah, I just keep my best out here. I got like ActRaiser, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 2, Legend of Zelda, Yoshi's Island, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Super Metroid, Super Mario All-Stars, Sunset Riders, etc. And I have just like a little bit of collector edition stuff here. I got like the Elite Series, Darth Vader, a Pepsi Perfect. I got a signed picture of James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, from backing his Angry Video Game Nerd movie on Kickstarter. I was really happy with that. And then I got a couple of Mario propaganda prints. I have a lot of them stored away just because of space limitations. So nothing, I have 10 of them, and I really want to put them all out, but space is a limiting factor here. And plus it looks kind of cool just with the 3 there. Let's see here, and I got some Mega Man prints that the wife gave me for a birthday gift. They're nice and small, and that's kind of the feature that I like. The smaller the better, because then you can put more on, and it looks a lot better, because then you can just rearrange them at different ends here. So, and then I got my PC desk here. I have a Yeti microphone that I use for voiceovers, and a nice little Zelda watch here. I still have to put stuff away. A Mario wallet. That little elusive NES Classic, there he is, all hiding there. And then my PC, nothing really to gawk at. It's got a GTX 970, 16 gigs of RAM, and an AMD 8350 processor. I have a Corsair mechanical keyboard, cherry red, that I picked up at a thrift store for fairly inexpensive. And then an LG ultra wide monitor that I really enjoy. I didn't think that I would. And now here we have a couple of amiibos here that I kept in the box. I'm probably gonna take them out. Like, I'm not really sure yet, but I like putting them in a little display. I thought I'd keep them on the cards for a while, but then I just decided not to. But then you got this big Mario or Yoshi here. So, all right, that's it for the collection game room here. I'll probably show off a lot more of my collection once the lighting is a little bit better, but I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and thanks for watching.